Hey guys, how's it going? It's Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. Mine hasn't been bad so far, but I haven't left for work yet. And work's always a new adventure. Welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. If you're back for more, I'm glad to hear you stop back by. I'm Brian. And normally on Tuesdays, we just talk about whatever, good, bad, or indifferent. Usually just whatever's on my mind. If you guys ever have anything you want to talk about or want me to talk about or look up or research to talk about, all you got to do is let me know. Wednesdays, we usually cook dinner. Thursdays, we bake something, hang out in the garden. I mean, whatever. Sometimes both. Take a look at things and, see how progress is being made. We got some new things going on. Before I forget, hit the subscribe button if you'd like, please. And you can even hit the thumbs up, notification bell, all that good stuff. Completely up to you, though. And but it would be much appreciated. So I had some new things going on. As you may, if you watched the last video, when we made the coffee cake, I touched on the jam and jelly maker. That was an awesome success. The blackberry jam turned out amazing, and it literally took 45 minutes from start to finish. 21 minutes in the maker and another 20 minutes of water bathing, and we had 5 jelly jars full of blackberry jam. Now you can say, well, wow, that's impressive, I guess, but I really don't know what you're talking about. So before we bought the jam and jelly maker, it would take us 8 to 9 hours in a crock pot to get 6 jars. So now we can essentially make 8 to 10 jars of jellies of jam in about an hour and a half, 2 hours at most. And that's progress. So we're gonna do some playing around with different jams and jellies, hopefully this week. And I'm going to film some of it, though, so you guys can see the process and see just how easy it is and how many just varieties of jams and jellies and preservatives you can make. And then also this week, I think tomorrow, as it stands right now, I'm going to, we are going to walk through the process of making Parmesan, chicken Parmesan. I think that's going to be what we make. I also thought about doing a chicken Alfredo, but I haven't had chicken Parmesan in a while, and it sounds really good. And I've got a pretty decent recipe for it that we've tried. And it's got fresh mozzarella. I'll show you guys how to make a homemade marinara sauce. It's really easy. It takes all of like 15 minutes to get the base sauce together. And then I think Thursday, we will take a quick look at the garden. I've got jalapenos popping up. The tomatoes are going gangbusters. I've got some poblanos starting. The peppers are the bell peppers are starting to come into their own too. They're starting to flower now. And so hopefully here in Ohio, at any rate, at least in our area, you don't really see a whole lot of fruit of the labor, so to speak, until near the end of August, beginning of September, sometimes even later into September. And we staggered our plants so that they'll grow at different times. But I know I've got 3 sitting out on the porch in our raised box or raised bed that's in a box that I've showed you previously that probably got 35 jalapenos on it, and the habaneros are finally starting to bloom. So that'll be fun to take a look at. And then I think for our dessert this week, we're going to try a hummingbird cake. And it's got pecans in it and some bananas, and it's got a wonderful cream cheese topping, frosting on it. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. It's got pretty much the whole kitchen sink in it, but I think it's going to be a great cake to make, and it shouldn't take a lot of time. But we'll see. Everything's always subject to change because I've also got a pancake recipe I want to try. For making, I've got a pancake recipe already, but I want to try something different. I don't like thin pancakes. You've got your crepes, and then you've got your thin pancakes, and then you got what I like as pancakes, which are thicker pancakes. And I saw somebody do something different to make an even thicker pancake that I want to try. And I may bring you along for that one too. Or we may do that next week. Who knows? So anyhow, main thing I want to talk about today is something that, in a way, is controversial, I guess. But, and I don't know why it is at this point. And that's the vaccine and getting vaccinated. So as many of you may know, I'm sure you do, we've been in a pandemic now for 18 months. And, it's old, it's tiresome, it's all that. And then about, 6-7 months ago, they came out with a vaccine, which in my opinion was great. I got one, Chris got one, Sarah got hers, but now we as a nation have kind of stalled on getting our vaccines, and we're not quite there. We're only at about 60%, and there is a new, which I'm sure you also know, a new version of the coronavirus that they keep calling the Delta virus, and that the current vaccine still works against. So my problem with all of this is twofold. First of all, I have always been under the impression you do what you want when you want. If you don't want a vaccine, great, whatever. But if your reason kind of was, well, it hasn't really been tested and tried, it has. Millions and millions of people have gotten this vaccine over the last 7 months, including myself. Are there some hiccups in it? Yes, but they're rare, far and few between. There are hiccups with every vaccine across the board. You get a flu shot, you can still get the flu. That happens. It doesn't matter what vaccine you get. There's always a potential for a side effect. So and the side effects are far and few between. I used to be one that wouldn't take certain medicines because of the side effects. So I came to the realization that most time those side effects affected like 1 out of 500 million people, and there was usually an underlying condition to it. So with this new variant out, even in the beginning, I was thinking to myself, well, we're vaccinated. What do I care? And that was a very true statement until Chris brought something to my attention that made me think about it. There were a couple of things I thought about when she said this. She said, Abby's not vaccinated, and Abby is immune compromised. For those who don't know, Abby is our youngest daughter, and she has Down syndrome. Now she is very bright, very intelligent. She is, almost just Down syndrome in name only in some aspects. But that being said, she is immune compromised. So if she goes to school or goes out to the mall and somebody that didn't get vaccinated has it, she can get sick. And that scares me. Because she's too young to get the vaccine. They don't allow kids under the age of 12 to get the vaccine. And I'm sure for good reason. I don't know what the reasons are other than it hasn't been trial tested enough yet to be certified by the FDA. But that bothers me a little. So I guess in some ways I'm asking you to, please go get your vaccination shot, if for no other reason, for the kids who aren't old enough to get it yet. Now, they say that 99.8% of the people that are getting this new Delta variant and getting sick and dying are people who are not vaccinated. But I have yet to hear the ages of these people. They say young people, but define young people. I mean, I'm 50, so anybody under the 35 and younger, to me, is young people. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So is it 30-somethings? Is it 20-somethings? Is it kids? Is it kids that are getting this and recovering quickly? I've not really heard, and I've been listening. I listen to the news constantly. So that kind of is a curiosity question for me. Is it teenagers? Is it, and if you are a teenager and you're a parent of a teenager, have them get vaccinated. There's no reason not to. I know there's a lot of information out there telling you different. I'm here to tell you most of that just isn't true. Just isn't true. Out of the millions of people that have been vaccinated, even with the young kids who had the heart condition briefly due to and they don't even know for sure if it was caused by the vaccination, but they recovered. They actually recover quickly than people who have the problem naturally. So it's not a death sentence. It doesn't cause you to not be able to have babies. It just doesn't do that stuff. That's just what it comes down to. The rarities of it being a bad thing. The only thing I know for certain is, and this even happened in just a few people, was the allergic reaction to, which they have protocols put in place for that. A reaction happens relatively quickly. So they'll know. They'll be able to catch it. They'll be able to help you through it, get you right. So there's just not a reason to do it in my book. Like I said, and these are my opinions, but I'm sharing my opinions because I don't want to see Abby get sick. I don't want to see other young children get sick. I don't want to see immune-compromised children get sick. So that, I wanted to rant about it for a minute. That, because it scares me. And, I know people that are out there that are saying that, well, it hasn't been fully FDA approved. Well, it's on the verge of being fully FDA approved. And I kind of get that. But at the same time, millions of people have had this vaccination already. And, with no consequences other than feeling sick for 24 hours after your first or second shot, depending. So think of others. I know that's rough to do, especially seems like anymore that nobody wants to think of others. Did you know in Chicago, just this last weekend, there were 44 people shot? Just in Chicago, the city of, and 12 of them died, and they were kids. So that tells me, in a way, it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people aren't vaccinated because it seems like us as a society, we don't have it right anymore. We've lost our way, and I think it's time we take a long, hard look at ourselves. Another thing, real quick, that's bugging me is the fact that it seems like the conversation about racial issues is starting to slip away in the public eye, and that bugs me because, hey, we are very much an out of sight, out of mind society. And the minute we quit talking about it on a public level, a social level, a media level, it seems to get hidden. And I'm here to tell you, it's getting worse. It's like like I said, we have truly lost our way. I have never seen racism in person before until recently. On two separate occasions, two different people came into my restaurant and, as politely as possible, acted the fool and had one of my employees in tears over it. To the point where we had to get them out of the store. That's unexcusable. It's unacceptable. So we got to start treating our neighbors with kindness, no matter what their social status is, no matter what their color, their skin is, no matter what their attitude is. You can't be that narrow-minded. I can't believe there's that much hatred towards a human ever. It mind-boggling, and it needs to stop. Don't care how, I don't care how you get there, but we need to get there, hands down. We're turning a cheek to too many things, and saying it's not my problem. We need to stand up and start saying it is our problem, because eventually what's not your problem will be your problem. Kids dying in the streets over shooting each other is a problem. Allowing racism is a problem. Allowing social inequality is a problem. The fact that you won't go and that someone won't go and get a vaccination, to help somebody else, to save somebody else's life is a problem. And that goes for any vaccination for that matter. That's why mumps still exist and measles still exist. And, that's why there's only been one disease completely eradicated off the planet, and that's smallpox. Everything else is still around. Polio is still around. All because there's people that don't want to do the right thing. If you do your research in any way, shape, or form, and by research I don't mean you just go to one outlet. You don't jump on Fox and Fox says this and that's the Bible. You go to Fox, you go to ABC, you go to NBC, you go to MSNBC, you go to as many resources as you can find and see what's out there. That's research. Don't take any one source for verbatim. I don't. I research. I look at things. I look at the obvious. If my shirt is blue and somebody tells me it's purple, I'm not going to automatically assume it's purple. All right. So anyhow, sorry for the rant, but I really had to get this, kind of out there and going, especially on the vaccine thing. It really concerns me. Like I said, I can't tell you what to do. I can't force you to do anything. And for those out there that think the government's going to come knocking on your door and force you to take a vaccine, they're not. That's just a straight dope. And to ask you to wear a mask if you haven't been vaccinated, in my opinion, is a hopeless cause. Because if you haven't been vaccinated, you're sure as hell not going to wear a mask and go, oh, I haven't been vaccinated yet. Most people just aren't that honest. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But I would like to see my daughter not get sick. I would like to see her, be able to live and grow up and make it through a pandemic. And I would hate to think that there's somebody out there that is selfish enough and shallow enough to not do the right thing to help another human being out. That just boggles my mind, and I hope that you don't get sick and cause somebody else to get sick. And if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, I still hope you don't get sick. I don't wish that upon anybody. We had it here, and luckily we weren't part of the 1% that were dying. But why take that chance? Especially now. The variant we got wasn't nearly as hellish as the variant that's out there now. So, that being said, I'm going to end my rant here. Chicken Parmesan tomorrow. Hummingbird cake on Thursday. Take a look at the garden. And I think that's it for right now. I love you. And I love you very much. I wouldn't say these things if I didn't. I want to keep you guys, I want to keep everybody safe and everybody around. So hopefully you take this to heart and you go get your vaccine if you haven't gotten it yet. If it's something you want to have a discussion with, leave me a comment down below. You can look me up on Facebook under Brian's Aquatics. I'm always willing to have a conversation. You can message me. Mr. Smith's Kitchen on Instagram, and I do believe I'm Mr. Smith's Kitchen on Messenger. So look me up and we'll talk about it. I'd be curious if you haven't been vaccinated, why? I've got a handful of friends that haven't been, and they have their reasons for that, but I also have my opinion, and I want to share it. I want to get it out there. You know me, I try to stay as neutral as possible, just like Switzerland. But on this, I can't be as neutral because I have a daughter whose life this could affect. All right. I love you. Like I said earlier, I love you very much. Tell somebody else you love them and you love them very much. It'll make their day a whole lot better. And I'll see you tomorrow for some chicken parmesan. All right. Talk to you later. You have a great rest of your afternoon.